All right. Here we go. Self-Made King podcast. Self-Made
S.M.K.
King. Okay. We here once again. This the ninth version of it, man. We've been moving along. We trying to make it to that 10th one, man, and we just hope that we can make it. We gonna want y'all to ride along with us on this ride to make it to that 10th one, and then hopefully further on out the road, we going all the way on up to the top.
There you go.
All right. S is for self, M is for made, and K is for kings. That's what that means, self-made. So we want y'all to know about that, and we're going to explain that as we go further. Yeah. But further, what I'll do, I always forget to introduce myself, so I'm going to introduce myself first today. This Dream over here, and we got Big Lou right there.
Salute.
And today, we got somebody special for y'all on the show. We always been working around to this point. We got this thing going on where we like to just do interviews with the entrepreneurs, and so we finally got entrepreneur. I mean, a doctor, a reverend, ex-marine, a father, a husband. Man, he everything, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to call him John Man today, but today we got Reverend Dennis Ward here with us today, y'all.
I'm just Dennis. I was waiting for you to get all through that. So, no, I'm just Dennis.
We love it. You just want to be yourself today. That's
I'm
right.
just myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's who I know you by. You know,
Yeah.
I know you by Dennis. You know.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But first of all, I want to tell you that I'm glad to have you on the show.
I'm glad to be here.
Man.
I've been
Definitely
wanting to get
nice
you
to
on
have
the
you.
show.
Thank you.
Lou, I've been telling Lou about you because some of the marks expertise that you got, but we're going to talk about that a little later.
Okay.
And I think you and Lou, y'all going to end up being best buddies.
Yeah.
Hey, we already best friends. He said he's going to help me with these lights.
That's all right.
We good.
All right. But you know what, though? What I want to say, though, is that so many times things just around here just go unnoticed.
Yeah.
And we have a lot going on in Lyman. It just seems like it just go under the table, and people be doing big things around here.
Yeah.
And it just sometimes, to me, and that's what the show has been about, is just trying to just bring that out of what people doing around here. Get them up out of there in little corners wherever you at. You know, I mean, getting on you. You've been around here, you know, you've been Chaplin at St. Rita's for 15 years.
Yeah.
Board certified.
I still got my own hair.
And that's that's flying around here, and it seems like a lot of people don't know it. So when I hear that, and when I see that, it's just like big to me, because you know how we all come from, like our families, the black family and things like that. I mean, we may walk right past the president, but to a doctor, we may, you know, we want to ask questions. With him, he's a bigger person to us because we can identify with him.
Yeah.
He closer, we can touch him. You know, and you right here, and you doing all of these things, these great things, man. You know, and it's just like, I want people to know that, and I just like, if this show don't bring it out, you know, I'm just hoping that this show will do something for it, because you just doing so many things. I can go on. I can talk about you doing grief support. Yeah. I mean, you the chaplain. You got your own church. You know, Second Baptist Church, one of the oldest churches. We gonna get into that too. Here in Lima, I'm talking about the oldest. And you come in on that. I mean, you're an ex-marine. So when people,
well, actually, Army. I went to Ranger School.
Ranger School. That's right. When you say Ranger, it just make me think of Marine for some reason. Yeah. That's the big part of. That's kind of elite part of, right?
It's very elite.
Okay, so we not able to touch that. And so since I've been up here, I be around a lot of little youth, a lot of kids. They rapping and they doing different things like that. Yeah. But people like you, they don't know that.
Right.
They don't know that. And so when they find out, they like, when Lou found out, he around here, what? For real? They reading stuff off. I'm over here just going off the stuff. He was like, wow, man. Yeah. And it's just like,
I was surprised.
You
do a lot. You do a lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And when we see it, we can, you know what, our kids, we can tell them all day long, but sometimes we have to show them. Yeah. You know, and with them, you can't play with them. You know what I'm saying? They different. You know what I'm saying? The youth now, you know, you can tell them all day long, but sometimes you got to hop right in there and show them. And when you show them, they see how it's done, then they ready to do it, you know? Yeah. So when they able to see you, Doc, they able to see, where this preacher is, some guy, the old guy that don't do nothing or whatever. You know, they don't know that you got all of this that come with you. You done been through some things and some things that they always trying to portray that they are, but not. You know what I'm saying? Right. They want it, but this guy didn't do it. This man would literally go jump out of an airplane, and sail down to the ground and hit the ground.
Well, the airplane was bad. That's why we jumped out.
but it's just like, I'm saying that to just let you know that. And I know that you come out and you mess. You know, you got your grief thing. You got your your thing that you do with the kids and things like that. So man, I'm just hoping they taking advantage of that, because when I'm around you, I feel like a little puffed up. I know I'm not supposed to, but you know, it's just
I'm just happy to be here. I really am.
I feel blessed to be in your presence, and I just want you to know that, and I just think you got a lot to offer, you know, and I just want the people around Lima to know that we got one bad man right here. All right. Okay, so now let's explore a little bit of that.
Let's go ahead.
So tell me, Doc, what made you kind of like just, you know, I know you started out. Okay, let me tell this first though. Okay, he used to hustle too now, like everybody else. But everybody got their way of hustling.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? We used to be hustling on the basketball court. You know, they used to be up there on the school ground throwing the little crap. You know what I'm saying? You know, but he be out there every now and then. Somebody get mad on the basketball court. We done lost. And sometimes he'd be his brother. I ain't messing with Tony. It'd be Bobby. Bobby done grabbed the ball and threw the ball up on the roof.
That's right.
Ain't nobody go get it. Now,
That's
you
right.
know, because we always had all bunch of balls around the court. Somebody put another ball out there, we keep on going.
That's right.
But Dennis B be over there watching.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now somebody got to get up on top of that building and go get them balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he be the man. That's how he used to do his hustling. You know, he
That's
told me
what I
that.
did.
That's like, yeah. And
Yeah.
people used to literally send you up there, because, I mean, we used to sneak around and do it too. And we go up on the building, there's balls everywhere.
Yeah.
They done got mad all the way around with you. Everybody, they throwing balls, footballs, everything. And they did. I mean, literally playing ball all the way around there.
Yeah.
You like to have a baseball game on y'all side.
Yeah.
Your football game on the Chris side. You know,
Yeah.
and all the way back on around. You know, it just was something.
Absolutely.
But, you know, so I'm saying that because some people have to been somewhere, and then it's like, you done been there, you still, you done done this, and you still trolling along, and you chose to be a Chaplin. And it's just like, man, where'd that part come from? I mean.
Well, just going back, I think that, you know, everything that we go through is really ordered by God.
Okay.
You know, that when it comes to, like you were asking me about when we was talking about the balls up on the roof.
Yeah.
That was an opportunity, you know, for me, because everybody was like, you know, who's going to get up there? Because in Whittier School, there was like a fence. They had like the concertina wire up at the top.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, hey, little man, going up there. I was like, I'll do it once for free. After that,
Right.
you know, because again, growing up in the environment, we were all like family.
Yeah, that's
you know,
right,
regardless
that's
if you
right.
grew up on Reed Street, 2nd Street.
That's right.
You know, so my thing was like this: never forget where you came from.
Okay.
You know, so because I knew I was like that little kid selling, you know, getting those pop bottles together, taking them to Mr. Callahan's store. Yeah. So, but I did have a dad, you know, that was instilling in us, you know, what it is to be a man.
Yeah. Okay.
And responsibilities. You know, so we had to cut grass for an allowance. We had to paint. You know, we did things around the block.
Yeah.
But we also had a little business too.
Yeah.
Because we got a lawnmower that we put together.
Okay.
And we also got some shovels in the wintertime. So regardless, or rake leaves.
Yeah.
So we was always doing something.
That's right.
And so as far as like going to the hospital, I hated hospitals.
Yeah.
You know, I got injured on a jump, and I was at Fort Hood. I went back to Fort Hood. I tore one of my ACL. It's like an X, you know, on your knee.
Right.
And so the doctors told me, they said, you're going to have surgery.
Right.
And so I started thinking, I'm like, not today. So I put my pants back on, got my crutches, and I walked out the building. But it wasn't until I put in for drill sergeant school.
Yeah.
And they told me that, you know, I got to go down and get my, you know, x-ray in my physical. I was like, I'm going to pass that with flying colors.
Right.
You know, so I went down there. The doctors told me, said, you look like you got a tumor. About the size of a grapefruit. Little did I know that was God setting me up for something, but I couldn't see it at the time.
Right.
You know, because I'm arrogant. You know, I'm just like, I got 79 jumps in, and you know, I felt my career's, you know, being shut down. Right. And so the doctors, I told you, the doctor that I had to talk to looked like Fred Flintstone.
Yeah.
I said, it looked like a cartoon, upper torso, little legs. You know, and so, but that was an eye opener for me, because you can be totally healthy. And your life can change just like that.
Wow. Yeah.
And he told me I had cancer. And then it went from bad to worse. They told me I had to have my arm amputated.
Wow.
You know, so I'm in the hospital at Walter Reed Army Hospital. I'm mad at God. You know, like, God, why did you have me to do this? You know, Why is my life changing? You know, and at that time I'm trying to compromise. At least I go to church. You know,
for sure.
I go to church. You know, I'm trying to be the best that I can. But there was something greater that he had me to do.
Yeah, that's right.
And so my thing was like this. That wasn't the first and last time, because I told you I was at Fort Bragg, and it was on my anniversary. You know, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna come back on the weekend. You know, I wish I can come back for the anniversary.
Right.
But it didn't turn out that way, and so a tree fell on the house.
Yeah,
almost killed my kids.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. You come in the ministry. You been the minister, one way or another.
But I came kicking and screaming. You know, I really did. If anybody,
kicking and screaming.
Yeah, when I hear people say, you know, I heard the Lord's voice, and I just came running. No, that wasn't my testimony.
Okay.
You know, it had to be. You know, sickness was involved. You know, and then it came to a point when I was in Nuremberg, Germany.
Okay.
And then. And even when I was working for GTE, when I got out the military, you know, that was the most money I ever made in my life. My first paycheck was $4,000. You know, and this was in the early '90s. You know, and I'm growing up from Ree Street, South Side.
Come on, you say
because I gave the check back. I gave the check back because I said, I think y'all overpaid me. They said, no, you got more coming. And I remember when I. You know, finally got to that point, you know, after the tree, after the cancer, you know, after the tumor, you know, I looked at all this money. I'm like, God, you know, I'm providing for my family. And I went 2 years without working, you know, at all, because I knew that's what, you know, God was preparing me for the ministry. But when he was doing that, and I'll tell anybody, I thank God for my Weinbrenner, you know, seminary experience. But the one I learned the most from out of ministry, he didn't go to nobody's seminary.
Wow.
You know, he was the biggest drug dealer in Colorado. You know, actually he was a pimp and he hustled. You know, but he taught me a lot about people. You know, and what I see when I first got into ministry, I saw a lot of religion. To be quite honest with you, and that's one of the reasons why I think that a lot of men don't go to church because of what they see.
That's right.
You know, but they need to see somebody real. You know, I'm not trying to wear no suit and tie because, you know, you just have to be real with people.
That's right.
You know, so when I go, and I'm the first African American chaplain at St. Rita's.
Yeah, you is. That's right. That's right.
I was born at the hospital.
Know that.
Yeah. And so going into the doors, this is one of the things I had to tell the guy. I said, you know, you got diversity in your doctors, you know, but the people that come to your hospital, St. Rita's, everybody's not going to be Caucasian, and everybody's not going to be Catholic.
That's right.
You know, so you got to have people, and when I go into the rooms, you know, to pray for people, you know, I know what it is to be a patient, because I was at Walter Reed for 2.5 months.
That's right.
You know, so did I like staying in the hospital? No. And so sometimes you see people, you know, with cancer diagnosis, and I'm not trying to say I feel what you feel. You know, but at least I can have some type of insight.
That's right. That's right.
But that's why.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man. You just look at that. I mean, it's just so much in you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, man. You know, I want to get something out. If I got you here, I want to try to get something out, because that's knowledge, that's understanding. I wish I can have everybody back there in the studio up here right now. I've been telling them about it all week. They come, they done. But my thing was, I wanted them here because I wanted them to be able to see you, be able to feel you, be able to touch you. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you're real, bro. And, you know, like I say, we need more statures like you. You know what I'm saying? We need more people like you doing the things that you're doing. Okay, but you say that's how you got called. You can't kick it and screaming.
Okay, so when you found out you had cancer, what was one of the things that made you not give up?
Wow.
Like,
it took a while for me to get there, because I felt like, you know, God let me down. You know, because I'm like, you know, I'm going to church, singing in the choir. You know, got a happy family, everything's going well, and you know, putting in my paperwork for drill sergeant school, I thought it was my time.
Right.
You know, but little did I know, you know, when God was, you know, talking to me, he was like, I didn't tell you was going to be a drill sergeant in this army. You know, I just changed. I'm going to change uniforms. You know, I'm preparing you for something else. And so, but also too, it's not. He didn't want me to be a cookie cutter pastor or minister. You know, so that's why I couldn't, and I had to learn both. learning from somebody that was, straight out of what other people wouldn't accept, but also getting the schooling because some people wouldn't accept me either if I didn't have the degree.
Exactly.
Okay, so how was you able to trust the pimp and the drug dealer to follow through what he was telling you?
Well, I always say that friendships that's not tested can't be trusted.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had to test it.
Okay.
Is he trying to hustle me?
Yeah. That's what I was.
Is he trying to hustle me too? And and there were some things I picked up from because I had one that was seminary trained. He was organized. He was a lieutenant colonel, but he was also a pastor. I got something from him. But then there was the other side that taught me about people. That taught me about everybody that comes into your church is not going to have a halo on their head and wings on their back. Yes. Some people are going to be raw from the street. Yeah. How are you going to relate to them? And so being a pastor, the oldest African American Baptist church, established in 1873. Yeah. How do you get these people out of this tradition that when it says whosoever will, let them come? Because they were so stiff-necked, I'll be quite honest, rigid, traditional. And so the first thing I had to do was you can come to church like this. I'm not concerned whether or not you got a hat on or not, I'm more concerned what you got on the inside. Come on. Yeah. So if you come with tattoos on, God bless you. We just want to say, come on in. But when I come there, are you going to treat me like I don't supposed to be there? Right. Right. So, and one of my experiences that I saw, it was a guy, he was in Augusta, Georgia, our church right there in the hood. Anytime your church is near James Brown Boulevard,
you know where you at.
You in the hood. Come on. Capital H, So it was a guy that came in, he was wearing like the overalls, because in the 90s, that's what people wore, And this guy, young man, he was sitting in the back of the church. And he left, and he came back again, he left. And so the pastor, having enough wisdom to know that this guy is struggling with something. So he called him up, didn't put him on blast or nothing like that. He was just kind of talking to him. And as he was talking to him, the guy broke down, and he just gave him a hug. And then as he was talking, when he was ready, little did they know that this guy had a gun in his dungarees. Because he was supposed to shoot somebody, but he was passing around the church because he was raised in the church. And he was just driving around the church. And that was his last stop between him and killing somebody. Wow. And so he took it out and he put it on the altar. Yeah. And to this day, he's a minister.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's crazy. That's crazy.
But
amazing. You know what, though? That's something. And them the type of experiences that you have to go through. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you see, and they kind of like molded you and shaped you along the way. Yeah. Because you like the person, to me, that go to the well and wash the lady's feet. Yeah. And then at the same time, you would take a rock and you hit Goliath in the forehead. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, I just like what you're doing, And so we just gonna keep on rolling because we want to go a little bit further. Oh, okay. Absolutely. Now, okay. You said something one time, man. This the funniest thing. Okay. First, you got a family, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. First of all, you got two beautiful daughters. Yeah. And Chantalina and Courtney. How y'all doing?
Chantel.
Chantel. She gonna get me.
Yeah, that's what she said. But that's her Facebook thing, Chantalina.
Right. Yeah. She gonna get me. And rest up, cuz Corey.
Yeah, Corey.
We love you because we know you're looking down. And it's like, man, it's just so much to you. But I said you would do that, and when people see that, they're able to follow that. They see something there that they're able to follow. And so that's why I was talking about earlier about trying to get you out here so people can just see you and know that we got a black chaplain. That's something, man. At St. Rita's. I mean, that's all we knew when we would see at St. Rita's and the memorial and hospital, and I mean that's all we ever knew. It was just a white chaplain. Absolutely. And so for you to come up on the spot and you to be the black chaplain there, I mean, you really had to impress a bunch of people, here in Lima, because we know kind of how Lima is. But for you to just march through, sometimes it just shows that if you just take care of your business and you be true to yourself, and you be true about what you're doing, people gonna finally recognize that.
Yeah.
You know, and so we always make it hard because we stumble along the way, and then a lot of us don't know how to get up.
Yeah.
But I think through that discipline that you had, your family. I know your family, man. You know, wow.
Yeah.
I can talk about them. I love Mike to death. Rest up,
Yeah.
Mike. Rest up, Bobby.
Yeah.
It was your brothers. You know, and they wasn't the preacher. They wasn't, you know, the reverend. They wasn't the doctor.
But you know what though? The thing is that they taught me so much.
Well, I know, bet they did.
They was they were more out there in the clubs and everything, but they taught me more about life.
Wow,
you know,
they did.
You know, because before I went into the military, you know, Bobby was telling me how to shine my shoes.
Come on,
you know,
man. Come on.
Telling me how to, if I go to a place, you know, what to watch out for.
Yeah.
You know, so,
yeah.
you know, I'm not trying to say that I was an angel. I thank God, you know, for my experiences in the club.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
for sure.
and so, but I remember we was in, me and Michael, we was in Germany.
Okay.
And they had this drink that you lit, you know, and it was like on, you know, it was on fire. And he was like, and the guy slid me one, and Michael slapped it off the table. He said, "No, don't give my brother none of these."
Right.
You know, so I always had, you know, people watching out for me.
Yeah, man, come on.
And so I don't take it for granted.
Right.
You know, because I thank God that, you know, later down the line I was able to baptize both of my brothers.
Wow, that's something.
You know,
man, that's something.
And so it was like respect, even though I was the youngest.
Yeah.
You know, I still looked up to them.
Yeah.
You know, just like you, you know, we looked up to you guys.
Yeah, man.
I was telling somebody when we was running track, I told you about that. I said we could have broke the record and got second place, but we broke the record. I said, but you didn't walk down that section of Reese Street right in front of Whittier School.
Yeah.
Because the older kids was like, you know, y'all got first place?
We gonna want to know.
We broke the record, but we got second. Now y'all need to walk around. If y'all didn't get first place, you know. So you know, you never forget where you came from, and
That's right.
you know, I always thought that, you know, what the scripture says, your gift makes room for you. But I wasn't the type that, you know, trying to get on WLIO, like, you know, some people always want to, you know, if I give you some water, I don't have to put it on Facebook.
No, you don't. That's
you know,
right.
I don't have to let everybody know. I just give it to you.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, so working at the hospital, you know, that's my ministry.
Yeah.
And this is how I got there, because when I got there, they didn't have any, like I said, any African American chaplains at the time.
Right.
And so my perception of St. Rita's was like the nuns. I thought about nuns and, you know, Catholics and everybody praying to Mary. And, you know, so when I was talking to the guy, he was on his way out. I didn't know that. But when he left and he cleared out his office, the only thing he left in his desk was my resume.
Okay.
And that was the only thing left. No pictures on the wall. The only thing left is my resume in the desk.
Wow.
Another lady comes in, take that office, and she calls him and say, you know, this a resume that you left in the on your desk, in your desk. She said, this guy gonna call you every day, every week.
Yeah.
You know, he gonna call you. So, needless to say, that when I got the interview, everybody was telling me that you won't get in, and if you do get in, you're gonna work on a night shift.
Right.
And so when they interviewed me, it was for the day shift.
Okay.
And then that same resume that she was looking at, she said, this guy, you know, she saw something special in the resume.
Yeah.
And so, needless to say, the same office I was interviewed in became my office.
Wow.
And that's how God works. You know, it's not like you're trying to, you know, push your way in.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that your gift makes room for you.
Yeah.
But my thing was like this, now that I got in, I'm going to allow other people, hey,
that's right.
This is how you can get in.
That's right.
You know?
So what was one of your hardest struggles of being a chaplain at St. Rita's?
Hardest struggle for me is when I was married for 27 years, you know, and taking my wife in to the hospital, the same hospital I work. Yeah. And so as I'm going into the hospital back and forth, I know the different signs, you know, of a person declining in health, because I see it all the time. And so as a chaplain, you know, I wasn't a chaplain, I was a husband. Yeah. And so now I'm seeing all the decline, you know, happening. And so after it did happen, after she died, you know, 27 years, you know, before that was happening, I was preparing my children, this is what's happening. Her body is shutting down. But I also didn't, put it in a doom and gloom way.
Right.
Because I said to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord.
Okay.
So her my wife's time at that time was up, and I knew that. But the hardest thing for me was we were changing offices, and they put my office right across the room from where she was.
Oh man.
Yeah. And my first call, after I came back from my time off, from grieving, so to speak, was to go to ICU. And I went to ICU, and it was the same scenario. The lady that was actively dying, she was 47. She had 2 children. And I had to go into the room and minister to her. So while you're ministering, it's not like you're not human, not that you don't feel.
Yes.
It's just like with every doctor, you're not going to be effective in ministry if you're still holding on to, to your past. Not to say that you forget it.
Yeah.
But at that particular time, I had to minister.
Yeah.
But after I did,
look at everything.
And I had my breakdown.
Yeah.
People don't think that. I've done 37 funerals since March.
Wow.
Yeah, and to sit up there, every one is different.
Yeah.
But to say I don't feel.
Yeah.
I don't feel that, and that's where sometimes it makes me mad. It makes me mad when I hear people doing things for money.
Yeah.
Especially in ministry.
Yes.
Everything you do, you shouldn't have to have a price tag to it.
Yes.
Because ministry is priceless.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's something.
Yeah.
Man, I just wanted people to know that you're doing the things that you're doing, and it's like when you decided to do ministry, you sometimes you have to, you be a minister too as you minister.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's the thing. That's been shaping you all along the way. I don't know your story, but I know some of it. And it's a good story, man. And I want to do something though here. I want to play a word game with you. Okay?
All right.
Yes, we don't get away. We just gonna have a little fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say true, false, true, false. In Jesus' name.
See how you do it.
I'm ready for it. Go ahead.
Let's go then. Let's go. Okay.
I'm gonna say things like touchdown, home run.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'll tell you what. A Marine.
Or Ranger.
Right, Ranger. Oh my goodness. Ranger.
Mentally difficult. Mentally challenging. I was going to say that. Mentally challenging.
Okay. Husband.
Commitment.
Children.
Example.
Chaplin.
Servant.
Life.
Worthwhile.
Grief.
Lesson.
The pandemic.
Opportunity.
New Year's.
New beginnings.
Awesome. Man, I mean, man, you just ace everything you do.
That's some good answer.
All right.
Hold on for a minute.
But you know
what's
what,
the next one?
You got a cheat
I got
sheet
the answer.
over there.
I got the answer.
Lord have mercy. But you know what, though? Every now and then, man, we got to step away and pay a little bills. And we going to step back and we going to take a quick break. S.M.K podcast. We got the doc right here, the Rev. We got everything. We got Iron Man dinner. We'll see you in a little bit. We love y'all. Lima. We out.
S.M.K.
All right, here we go. We right back here again, S.M.K podcast, and you know who we are. Okay, but before I get going, I want to do some shout outs. We've been having a lot of love, like from coast to coast, man. All my people down there in Florida, and Georgia, and Tennessee, got a sister over in Carolinas. Man, we love y'all. And West Coast too. All up north, we love y'all. Whoever tuning into the show, we want to tell y'all that we love y'all, okay? And keep on tuning in. We got bigger and better things coming, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, we gonna move on. We got the doc right here.
Yeah.
And man, he's something else, man, y'all. And I'm just glad to have him on the show.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. You just like one of the regular fellas.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I want to talk about a couple of your little babies that you got around here. You know, somebody told me you're working with this grief thing you got.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. How's that, and where did that come about from?
Well, actually, when first wife Corey, your cousin,
yes.
Again, we were together for 27 years.
Okay.
And walking through that process, I'm a private person.
Mm-hmm.
She was private. We didn't tell everybody our business because, again, there's some people that you have to be able to trust on another level, I would say.
That's right.
And there's some things that just need to be private.
Yeah.
And I felt like this, that when I became a husband, I honored my vows.
Okay.
And one of those vows is in sickness and in health.
Mm-hmm.
When she was going through that process, it was like, I'm going to honor what you have me to say. And, and at that time I was still going out and doing funerals and coming back home to a wife that was dying.
Yeah.
And I was doing, a lot of people don't know this, but I was still in school, working on my certification at the time.
Okay.
And I got my laptop on the desk, on the bed, again, when my wife was dying.
Yeah.
So I called and I said, I can't do this anymore. I'm just going to quit.
Yeah.
I'll do it again another time. She said, no, don't quit.
Right.
So mentally, there was a public me and a private me.
Okay.
So, and then after she died, because everybody can't comfort you.
Yeah, for sure.
And being a pastor, being a man, I would just say being a man, you have vultures out there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
That's right. You better say that. You better say
Can
that.
I say it another way? Can I spell it in English or say it in the Greek or Hebrew?
We got you.
I just want to say,
We got you.
there were some vultures out there,
Mm-hmm.
and so, but focusing on, like the grief portion of it, it was like, if I know I'm struggling, because I told you I felt like I was going through, the best way to describe it in the movie Ray, when he was struggling, trying to get off, drugs, he was wrestling. That's how I felt, But then at the same time, I'm going up there and preaching on Sunday, But then it got to a point where I'm not going to be phony. So I called the associate minister. I said, I can't do this on New Year's.
Right.
So you deliver the message for New Year's, because I'm not feeling it.
Right. Okay.
And I'm not just going to go through the motions, of it.
Right.
But when I started thinking about the grief support, there was other people that was going through it. So I said, there's people that's lost children, that's lost husbands, wives. So I got a collaboration of different people that I trusted that had lost, different ones in their life. So I met with them. They said, I think this is a good thing.
Right.
So I put together a grief support packet. Again, things that I went through. Like, how do you deal with the night? And that's one of my things, like going to the gym was my drug.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to the gym so much.
Yeah.
I got so big I couldn't even put my suit on.
All the suits
I was trying to, you know how you go through and you try to tie that. And I kept throwing all these suits, and I got to the point I ain't buying no more suits.
Right.
So, and then I felt like, I got all this information, and people, said, man, that really helped me. So I looked at it, even doing funerals differently.
Yeah.
How I do funerals.
Yeah.
Because these people that's sitting on the front row, I know what it is to sit on the front row.
Yes.
I don't need nobody to entertain me.
Yeah.
I don't need nobody talking about weeping may endure for a night, but joy come in the morning. And you still got your wife. You still got your children.
Yeah.
How can you connect with me? So that's what I was doing. I went from empathy. From sympathy to empathy. That's what I've gone through that. So I've been doing it now for the last 11 years, having the grief support. And sometimes when people put books together and pamphlets together, if it's really supposed to help somebody, it should be free.
Yes.
Don't put a price tag, on a manual.
There's a price at the end of it.
Right. So if people ask me for the grief support manual, I'll email it to them. I'll give it to them. Say, here you go. So that's been my ministry, and I've been doing it, faithfully for the last 11 years.
Wow. I didn't know you had been doing it 11 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? I want to tell you about this. You got so many people, bro. So many people that wake up in the morning times. And I mean, how sometimes they say, you be heavy, sometimes in the mornings, And I mean, bro, how are you able to get up every morning and you able to just give people this word of encouragement? I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I done caught you a couple times, and I don't have too many bad days. You know, I have some like everybody else, but I don't have too many. Thank the Lord. You know, but like some mornings, I know been a couple mornings I done got up, man, just went right.
Yeah.
And bro, I look at you, I just look, and all of a sudden I look at your words of wisdom that you put out every morning faithfully.
Yeah.
And I mean, this got to be going over all over the world. So anybody out there that's tapped in, if you're not tapping in, tap in.
Yeah.
Because he put out some words every morning. I don't know, it seemed like you just know what to say, when to say it. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like, I be wanting to sometimes just come through and throw a big old fist out. You know, say it that time. But I don't want to be going too much because it's like, oh man, but I'm always trying to tap in and let you know. And I know if you encourage me, you encourage everybody else.
Yeah.
It's just all types of people tapping in. And I know that people, they weary and different things going on with them. And I know it's an uplifting. So I just want to let you know, man, don't ever stop doing that, bro.
I appreciate it.
Right there, man, you got something going right there. And I look forward. I wake up in the morning. If I've been up forgot, I go back. I go back and do it. And go back and read it. And you check in, and it kind of lifts me up. It give me, what I need. Okay, but I'm going to move on. Okay. Now, you got all these little babies you around here birthing. Okay? Now you got this other baby over. That was the grief right there.
Yeah.
Now you got this thing about the kids, man. What's going on with the build trust? I mean, where that come from?
Well, again, working with other people, because one thing I found out growing up in Lima, there's a lot of duplication.
Yeah.
Everybody want to have their face up there to say this is what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I'm like this, if you're doing something, I'll support you.
Yeah, okay.
I don't have to get the credit. I can be in the background. Actually, I work well in the background, but there's other people that's doing different things. Now, one of the things that we did at our church, and we still have, that I know what it is to come through, where my dad is the only one that's working.
Yeah.
And my first time going to college, I played football down at Defiance College. Okay. And I was really heavy into sports. But when I got to college, I thought I went to college to play spades and dominoes. I thought I was going to major in spades and dominoes when I got there. Right. And just play football. Yeah. And I was, how they say, student athlete. Yeah. But I was an athlete student. Yeah. And of course that didn't last long. But my thing at church was like, ministry is more than what you do on Sundays. Yeah, okay. So I wanted to help people outside of the traditional, church, and helping some of the kids, and it makes me feel, so godly proud. Yeah. When I've helped somebody, that didn't have the money to lead them to how they can get a grant that they don't have to pay back. Yeah. So that's right. And I've seen a lot of the kids came through. I would say about 98% of the young people that came through our church either went to college or the military. Wow. And if they didn't want that, at least we can lead them into the trades. Yeah. So because everybody's not college material. That's right. So but for the ones that did go, I remember we had some young ladies that were nurses, and so we had our conference room. Okay. So they can study, they can bring their books. We got them pizza, things like that. So just helping young people along the way. And we had this thing, Manuel Curtis has this thing, positive lifestyles, where you go into the schools, be a mentor, be an example to some of the kids so they can hear your story. So that's what I wanted to do, go back into the same school, and tell the real story. Not just half the story, but tell the real story. Because while everybody else was getting A's, and Denise, I know she's an AB student, I'm still mad, but now that's all right. bringing home books and everything. Right. I had a pencil, in my ear, because I didn't bring home books and things like that. And so. But my thing was that I was, like I said, I was heavy into sports, and that's right. And we had broke a record in track, and so right after that, it was district, and we was on our way to state, because we had one of the fastest times in the state, and so I get this thing saying, Dennis, you ineligible. I'm like, how could that happen? Yeah. And then of course you was drawing X's and O's in the back of the classroom. You wasn't doing the work. Right. So my thing is like this: is that sometimes God has to take us through these things. That I can tell other parents, don't give up on your children. Right. They'll come around after a while, but don't put them down. But one thing my dad did do, because he was a Korean War veteran, he didn't drive me to summer school.
Okay.
He gave me an umbrella. If it was, he gave me an umbrella.
Get up and go.
Yeah, if it was raining. Because he's like, you put yourself in this predicament.
That's right.
And I think a lot of times we make excuses for other people's dysfunction. And so he was trying to get me on the right track. And so eventually I did. I had got my last class in, and I got my trophy for breaking the record at summer school. So I had anxiety actually about going back to school. And there was a friend of mine that was in the military that was telling me he knew I was getting out. He said, man, when you get out, go back and get your voc rehab program, and they pay you for going to school. And I'm telling him this sob story, like, man, but you don't know, man. I'm no good at taking tests. And he told me, get over it. Get over it. And so I did, and I went to apply for the voc rehab program. Uncle Sam paid for my school. He gave me a check. And as soon as I wanted to come back and thank him, he died. Because he had cancer, an aggressive cancer. So I think that along the life, that God sends you people for a season, some for a reason, and some for a lifetime. To get us on the right track.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And you know what? Just to think about it, man, it's just like God just been putting you in different positions. It seems like you just got so much to give, and it's just like you over here, you over there. You over here. A lot of people don't know you had something to do with freedom being built. The school. You the president of the Black Alliance. Senior lineman. And I
had to back off of that. I had to back off of that because there was a lot of pressure.
I bet it was.
There was a lot of pressure going on. As far as to me. I will never forget that I'm black. God reminds me of that every morning.
That's right.
And when I look at that, there's a lot of struggles. But one thing I look at it, even being at St. Rita's, when don't just invite me at the table because I'm black. But invite me at the table because there's a difference between diversity and inclusion. Invite me to the table because I got something to say. And I think a lot of times, especially with our people, it's okay to march. But what are you going to do after you march?
That's right.
You're going to get your face on Channel 35, and you're going to get your 10 minutes of fame, and you're going to hear that same no justice, no peace. But what are you going to do after? So I think that just like with Thurgood Marshall, Thurgood Marshall went through his bumps and bruises along the way, but he never discounted what Malcolm X was doing. He never discredited what Martin Luther King was doing. And I think that they all needed one another. Malcolm needed Martin, Martin needed Malcolm. But also too, that every movement just about came and was birthed out the church. Even some of the schools was birthed out of the black church. So Bethune-Cookman. So I think that there's an education portion of it too, because it's not about shout around the church 3 times. Lord gonna give you this. Those things are big turnoffs.
That's right.
But it's like it's that tradition, and so my thing is like this: when God puts you at the table. Just like God has put me on a lot of tables. I'm not going to forget who I am, and I'm not going to forget where I came from. But at the same time, I'm also a man of God. I thank God for being a soldier. And I thank God for wearing the uniform. But there's the bigger picture of it. And I know that there's a heaven, and I know that there's a hell. That there's no way I could have lasted 79 jumps, without the grace of God.
That's what I say. That's what I say. I know that, and when you say that, I know that. That's one kind of something that I really know, because I'm not like that type of person that like to take a lot of chances. And for a person to get in an airplane and jump out, you better have some faith built up somewhere. You better have something going on, or you just crazy.
Or you better have a reserve chute. That's what you better have.
But
and some Jesus along the way.
So you you strong about what you believe in, you believe if I make this jump, I'm not worried about anything. You know, I'm okay. And that just shows the confidence and sometimes the maturity that you done came in your life and stuff like that. I know some people that come in as a ranger school, they probably just get up there and just jump. But I think you probably had a little bit more in your mind. You know what I'm saying? You had a little bit more to hold on to. It was a little bit more in you that far as faith and things like that. Yeah. Okay, but so you was part of the school, putting the school together. I was telling Lou, and this funny to Lou, because, well, first let me tell this one time. I know you got these daughters that you don't play about. You know? No. So
I still know how to shoot. I'm gonna tell you like this. I still know how to shoot.
I have to tell this story because it was the funniest thing to me. Okay, now you know the younger one, Courtney. She's so sweet. Before she left Florida, remember she was going through a couple of things because her friends around. She was saying, the event sometimes they want to all have her best interest, and then somehow those little boys started cutting up. Or look, somebody she was dating, he had said something. I don't know what he said.
And I made a couple of visits to Florida.
I don't know what he said, but he must have said something about he may touch her. But boy, Doc said, I wish a ninja would.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, look here. I'm dropping papers and everything. That one messed me up. Boy, look here. I want to throw the fence up on that one, then I was throwing it up there. But that's something, man, because, you still that dad, though. You still that dad. You still that pop.
But it's not even my thing is like this. I tell, like also being a pastor, you're like a father figure.
Yes, sir.
And I believe in grief, not only grief counseling, but marital counseling.
Yeah.
Before you get married, it's more than putting a ring on your finger.
Yeah.
You're going to go through your ups and downs. So every young lady that comes in to the church about to get married, I look at it as if she was my daughter. Yeah. But at the same time, I do that with a young man, about to get married.
Yeah.
And that's even more because I always tell them about this. I said, her obligation is to, to love her husband, follow her husband, as long as he follows Christ.
Yes.
But I tell the husband, I said, you got a greater obligation. You got to love your wife as Christ loved the church.
Okay.
In other words, he died. So that's a greater, and if you can't, and I always tell people like this, when it comes to potential mates for my daughters, that she has my last name.
Yeah.
So at that time, I'm responsible for her.
Yeah.
She's my covering. I'm her covering.
Yeah.
But then when you become that man, you become that covering, and I back away.
That's right.
But in any time you put your hands on my daughters, and even with the ones that because let me take a drink of water. Let me turn to the side.
Whoa! But that's funny to me. Okay, go ahead.
But anytime you put your hands on my, because we were like that, growing up.
That's right. That's how we was.
You respect, women.
That's right.
And I believe that a person that puts his hand on a woman is a weak man.
Yep.
So that's one of the things that, because I thank God for the church that we do have.
Yeah.
I think you got to have the young as well as the old.
Yeah.
You got to have that wisdom. And we have people at our church that have been married for 60 years. 50 years.
That's right.
And I seen this one in particular. He was one of the deacons at the church. He worked at Ford for over 50 years. He owned his own gas station. He never missed one day at work.
Wow. I seen
never one day at work.
That's
but
crazy.
The one thing I admired the most about him, that after church was over or before church, I would always look out the window. He would always open the door for his wife.
Still for that wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always opened the door for her and made sure that she was, settled in.
Yeah.
So, and that's like being remarried, now.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I went through that phase. And it was like 3 years before I got remarried.
Right.
And so the thing is that he that finds a wife finds a good thing, finds a good thing.
Okay, come on.
So I traveled all the way to Alabama, back and forth, because you got people around here was like CNN, Fox News, looking what Rev, you see what Rev doing, and I can go to lunch with my sister, and somebody would come out and say, "I seen him
else,
hugging somebody," and,
that's lima.
you know. So, and God just led me in the right direction because when I was fasting, she was fasting.
Okay.
You know, a 21-day fast.
Okay.
And like I said, I didn't take it lightly. And for any man to say that they never went through temptation, you lying.
Yeah, talk.
Yeah. Should I say that again? You lying. You lying, and the truth ain't in you.
But you know what though? That's why I want to get to. That's why I want to get to. I want to ask you about your wife. So you remarried now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you got a beautiful wife too. I want to tell you that.
Thank you.
And for some reason, I don't know why, she just reminded me of Cuz.
Right.
I don't understand that, but it's just something about her. It's a.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know. I never met her, but I can feel people somehow. You know, and it just. I see that in her. I see that in her, and to me, for you to, you say you did she an Alabama girl? Ooh,
Yeah.
he been down Alabama, y'all.
Well,
but
you know, I drove. This is funny because when I was driving down there for the very first time, and I got my Chrysler 300. You know, I'm ready to go. Got the Hemi in it.
Okay.
I'm hitting it down the road. Don't tell nobody. Okay. But I was speeding. I was trying to get there. But y'all didn't hear that. You know.
Right.
And then I ran over a tire. You know, those tires that's in the middle of the road, and the plastic thing that was up underneath it, you know, fell down. And I kept hearing it scrape. I didn't know what it was, so I pulled off the road. And so I'm calling AAA and you know, tell them, hey, this is where I'm at. So they came, and the highway patrolman came, and his name was TJ. That's what he said. My name is TJ, you know, in Kentucky. Right. And so I said, all right, TJ. Okay. And so he said, I'm calling you over a record. We're gonna get you back on the road soon. I said, all right. So the record guy comes in, and he comes and say, hey, TJ. And then the guy said, hey, Bubba. And I'm like, oh, Jesus.
You were like, oh, boy, I ain't gonna ever get out of here now.
I said, I'm in Kentucky with TJ and Bubba. And so Bubba took me all the way up to the mountain.
Okay.
You know, he said, we're going to get you back on the road. And they opened up this barn, you know, this barn thing. Yeah, And it was like 4 guys, you know, with these overalls on.
I mean, he must have come in.
Oh, man.
And I'm thinking to myself, TJ and Bubba done set me up.
Set you up.
It's about to be a bad day.
Yeah, I'm reaching for my keys and everything. You're ready to hop in my car, like the Duke of Hazzards and everything.
Yeah, we're gonna find a way out of here.
And then they had a dog that didn't even, when he was barking, didn't even bark. He was like, oh. I'm in some bad shape now. But my thing was that, you know, God was also teaching me about prejudice.
Yeah.
Because prejudice, and then when they fixed it, he said, we're not going to charge you anything because I see that you're a veteran.
Wow, come on, man.
You know, so, and that's what I did. It was like one of those things that, you know, God uses these opportunities to teach. And so when I got to, you know, Alabama, you know, to meet for the first time, and, you know, I said, you know, I told her this, and I still mean it now, that I want to give you the best of me, not the rest of me.
There you go. Wow.
And so, but never discrediting or, you know, I thank God for the 27 years, you know, that I had.
Yes.
You know, and I wasn't trying to please everybody else. You know, I've never been like that.
That's right.
You know, I want to make sure that I'm happy.
Right.
You know, so it just kind of led like that, and you know, but you know, and when people, you know, kind of found out, and I told you about this when I was about to announce it at the church, and I said I told the people, I said I got an announcement, you know, because you don't introduce a girlfriend to the congregation.
Yeah.
You know, so at that time we've already said that we're going to get engaged, but I want to introduce you because my church family is like my family too.
Yes, that's real.
So I had my sister from Columbus come down, and you know, everybody got like this. So they wanted, but they didn't know what it was. Only my sister knew. Yeah. And people that, because my parents were going at the time, but somebody I looked at as parents, I invited them.
Okay.
And so the church is packed. You know, I had Dr. Montfort to come, you know, because he already knew about it, him and his wife. Yeah. You know, so they were already there, and they saw him leave his church early. It's like, where he going? So everybody on the phone, like, something going on at Second Baptist Church. And so it was standing room only, you know, around the church. And, you know, I'm getting ready to introduce her as my fiance, you know, and I was preaching about Boaz and Ruth.
Okay.
You know, because I felt that was appropriate, you know, at the time. You know, and everybody thought I was leaving. You know, so people was crying like he getting ready to leave. You know, and everybody like, go on with the service. What's going on? You know, spill the beans. And so, and I said, I just want to let you know I thank God for you. You know, and everything that you blessed me with, and I just want to let you know your prayers were, you know, right on time for me. I thank God for that. I said, but when I started seeing the kids cry, you know, I said, let me come out with it because they thought I was leaving. I said, I just want to let you know I'm not leaving Second Baptist Church as your pastor. Everybody was like yelling, he ain't going nowhere.
Right.
And then when it came down, I was like, well, what we here for, you know? And so I said, you know, I just want to introduce, you know, my fiance. She's here in the building. And didn't nobody know. They were looking all around. See who all it was. You know, And so I asked her to stand up, and I said, you know, this is my fiance. As soon as I said that, you know, somebody had the audacity in the church said, no.
No, they didn't. They said no.
and ran out the church. But see, those are some of the drama that pastors have to go through.
Right. You I wonder what the no was for.
Yeah, so
they don't want you to do nothing.
So that's why, you know, even as a pastor, I've seen people's lives destroyed because they let too many people into their personal life. You know, and I think your personal life should be between, and I even tell my kids this, you know, my inner circle is me, my wife, and God. Then that circle outside of that is our children. You know, and so, but if you start letting everybody else into your business, and you know, and everybody that calls you, I learned this too. That everybody say that they're your friend, ain't your friend, and you know, and I became, you know, kind of distant too, in a way, because I got tired of people kissing me on my cheek and stabbing me in my back.
Wow, talk, man, talk. So now that's something right there. I just, man. Okay, now when you when you think about that. Now, say when you go in the hospital setting, and then you go into different patients' room, and say it's a real old white lady, you know.
I gotta go in those rooms too?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, just checking. I'm messing with you.
And she don't know that, you know, this Black Chaplin that's gonna come in here and talk to her. You know, we don't know what's tomorrow gonna bring for her, but she want to see this chaplain come in. Now, most of the time I don't know that, but do they know who's the chaplain or anything like that? Maybe she don't even know who is the chaplain. But I need a chaplain right now. Yeah,
and that does, you know, that does happen, you know, where as a chaplain is different from a pastor. And to be honest with you, I think being a chaplain is more challenging because when you walk into different rooms that people are not from your congregation. They're not your ethnicity. And that's what ministry is stepping outside your comfort zone. So when I walk in to the room, you know, I'm there to minister. You know, I don't, you know, to say that you don't see the person color, of course you do.
Yeah, sure.
But, you know, you get past that, you know, because sometimes you have to minister to people that that might be bigots. You know, you have to pray for people that maybe this is your first encounter. I remember one of the guys that he was shadowing me, and he was an older gentleman. He had white hair, and the lady, she said, "You're the chaplain?" I said, "Yeah, I'm the chaplain." And then she said, "Oh, I thought chaplains supposed to look like him," you know.
Whoa.
But and she wasn't meaning it in the way she didn't think the chaplains were young.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, But you have to get past that, you know.
Yeah, and then think about that. Now you could have took that as that, you know. But that's that patience, that's that obedience in you, you know, that you was able. Like me, I probably would have thought, you know, she went straight there, you know, but she didn't. She was meaning that because of your age, you know, she ain't used to seeing no pastor. Probably even your stature. You sitting there, you big as I know. Probably had that suit stretched out there. No, but I'm just saying, you know, it just to be able to see you and then, you know, not know that that's, you know, what they really looking for. You know, they looking for that old white hair. I worked at St. Louis, so I remember the one of the chaplains that did work there, probably like in about early 2000, probably. I can't think his name though. But man, you know, and we just gonna move on, man. You know what?
5 minutes.
You know what? This is the part of the show that I really like because this part is kind of like a celebrating. We didn't make this up because a lot of people have been saying it lately, just give people their flowers, give them their flowers and stuff like that. But I like that saying because, you know, I end up giving, we got a kind of another granny that's been here since mom is kind of Felicia, no grandma, but we call her granny, and she like granny. But on her birthday, I ended up sending her flowers, and she was into telling them around there that that's what I like. I want my flowers now. Yeah. So that's kind of where I got it from. Yeah. You know, and but I want to give you your flowers because I don't want people to wait till later say, oh well, Dennis was around here, Doc was doing this, Reb was doing this, or Reb done all of this, and nobody never knew. So I always have this favorite part of the store where I pop a bottle of champagne, man. Yeah. But guess what? We gonna keep it real, y'all. This non-alcoholic, so y'all don't go running to your mouth. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna pop this bottle of champagne for you because I believe that you deserve it. I'm giving you your flowers because right now you're just doing so many good things. I think Lima need to know about it. I think the people need to know about it. I actually think the world need to know about it. You know, and when we got kids, young kids, youth. I mean, people that's me and Lou work with every day. Lou, he big, man, but you know, he a younger dude too, and he be back there with a lot of them, man. Yeah. And man, you know, when they see people like you, man, you know, and they able to just to see that I can touch it, I can be this. This is what I can be. I don't have to settle for just being just a regular Joe. I can be a preacher or
gives motivation, inspiration.
Talk, Lou. Talk.
Yeah, like everything you doing definitely should motivate the kids and the youth. And to want to be better, like he went from being in the military and finding out he had cancer. Yeah, come on, man. His kid's house got a tree fell on him, and he had to be right next to the room that his wife passed. I think that is really challenging. If anybody need to be looked up to, it's definitely him.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. You better believe it. You better believe it. So, with that being said, guess what? I just can't wait to do this right here. With that being said, we're going to get this bottle out. We're going to pop this bottle. Doc, you one heck of a guy. Well, and what I want you to know, though, man, don't stop doing what you're doing. You know, we got something special for you. We got something even better for you.
Well, this keep me in prayer, you know, because one of the things that, you know, sometimes people see people doing their thing, and you know, I had a guy that came. He was in. He came through the program that we had at St. Rita's for young people, trying to get them into the medical field. Okay. And he would always ask me different questions, and he came after the program, and he said, you know, I want to be like you. I said, no, be better than me.
Be better than me. Be better than me.
And I think that's what we need to, because the younger generation that's coming up, it's not like they don't care. Right. You know, it's just that if you're going to mentor me, you know, be there. You know, be there for me. Be consistent. Right. You know, and don't put on no airs. You know, because I always tell people, especially athletes, you know, what are you going to do when you twist your knee, you twist your ankle, and you can't do this anymore? Yeah. You know, and that's why I said, you know, for me, I had to go to seminary, I had to go to college and all that. Yeah. But I don't hide behind my titles. Right. You know, because at the end of the day, my kids, you know, they call me dad. Yeah. Sometimes they call me ATM, but that's another story.
You remember he used to be an old white man in Lima. I mean, he used to be just hopping down the street. Preacher man, remember? Yeah. But a lot of people said he was doing that back in the day because he got struck by lightning. Well, one day we ended up pulling up on him and we asked him, you know what I'm saying, what was going on? He stopped, he said, no. He said, I had got the Holy Ghost, and he said that ever since then, I've been up running for God. And then I understood it. But when they was telling me about when he got struck by lightning, all we did was laugh then. You know, he got struck by lightning. But he said that made him get up and go. And he said that's what he run for every day, run for the Lord.
I saw that same man at the nursing home. I know you got the time. Wow. I saw that same man when he was in the nursing home. Aunt's room was right across from his. Wow. And he would stand up like clockwork with his Bible in his hand at the door and just saying scripture.
That's crazy.
And then just like a boxer, he would sit down in his chair until the next round. Yeah. And he'd stand back up at the door and he'd start doing it again. Wow. And so to me, it's like people like that, you know, that I really admire. Yeah. You know, doing their thing. And I remember Bob the Sucker Man.
Yeah,
he used to come around and give
yeah.
suckers all the time. And we asked him, I said, why do you always give suckers? He said, because I remember what it was like to be hungry.
Yep, that's right.
And it was a hard candy, the thing that got me through my hunger moments. So.
That's right.
So all I want to do is just make an imprint in life. So if I'm dead and gone, I just want people to say Dennis was a man of God that loved God. That's it.
That's something. That's something. You are. You one bad man. He one bad man, y'all. And before we get ready to get up out of here, I got one more special thing for you. I got a young lady that gonna sing a song. Okay? Miss Felisa, we boy. Man, blow this song for us, man, and take us on out of here.
If I could hear somebody as a pass along, then my living shall not be in vain. If I could cheer somebody with a word or a song, then my living shall not be in vain. Oh, my living shall not be in vain. Lord, my living, it will not be in vain.
Yes.
If I could show somebody who was traveling, living, doing wrong, then my living shall not be in vain. If I could do my duty as a good man should, if I could bring back beauty to a world upright, if I could share love's message that the messenger taught, then my living, Lord, my living shall not be in vain. In vain.
Good God.
Yeah.
Go on, girl. Go on. Sing that song. Oh. Hey, man. You know what? Man, what a show. We got Doc here, man. It's been a beautiful day. Everything been lovely here. We glad that we had you, Doc. Man, you family, you everything right here. Lima, we want y'all to know y'all better wake up and realize what y'all got here. And Miss Felisa, where? We're gonna keep that in the archive. Once again, S.M.K podcast. We love y'all and we out.
Amen.
Self-made kings. That means anything that you want to be in life, you can be that. We all kings. Hey, what a show we had with the Doc, Dennis Ward, Reverend Dennis Ward, Chaplin Dennis Ward. What a show. All right, now go back, like, and subscribe. Go back and like and subscribe for us. And then don't forget to hit that push button notification. Therefore, you'll get a big old ring next time a new episode come out. Okay, go back, like, and subscribe. This is Self-Made Kings, and we out. We love you.